I just wondered, how are you feeling after your injury, really, and you're ready to play your part in what's at stake for Arsenal this season with what's left in the Champions League and the Premier League?
Yeah, for sure. Come back from the little calf strain. Feeling good now, feeling ready. And excited for the time.
Your manager's just been in. He's been very passionate about everything that's left and what this team can achieve. Can you just explain to us what he said to you since Saturday, what he's been like in the training ground? Because he sounds very much up for the fight of what you can win.
Yeah, for sure. We all know the position that we're in, the opportunity that we have, and we know what's at stake. Loads of confidence, loads of belief in the group, in our team, and it's special to be around. But yeah, the focus is on the opportunity that we have and taking it with both hands.
This is why you've joined Arsenal, though, isn't it? You've got Champions League quarter-final, possibly, semi-finals to come, but then you've got a huge game against Man City. So this is what you're here for personally? For
sure. These are the moments that you want to play in as a footballer. You want to play in the high-stake games. You want to play in all the competitions. You want to win as much as you can. So it's a beautiful time, and for me, I'm so excited. I know my team is excited. I know the boys are. So yeah, we're gonna give everything for sure.
Hi there, Eberechi. Look, there's been a lot of talk about a number of the players having a bit of scar tissue over what's happened in the past few seasons. You actually haven't had that. You've come in the summer with a number of other players who probably haven't had that experience either. Does that help you and your teammates that you haven't had that experience where you might think, gosh, this might happen again?
I think, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I feel like there's a freshness that comes with not having experienced negative things. But for me, from what I can see, from the teammates that have the mentality that's in the team, there's so much belief and so much confidence. So there's one thing to have bad experiences, but what you do with them and how you move forward from them is more important. And I can see that I've got a team full of guys who are ready. So yeah, for sure we're here to help the boys who have come in this summer. But yeah, the mentality is strong.
George mentioned it just before about Mikel Arteta and his messaging. Can you give us an insight into what kind of messaging there has been in the past couple of days? And also, between the players, have there been any home truths exchanged, and given what's happened in the last couple of weeks?
I think, yeah, the boss speaks well and he's passionate, and you can see the fire that he has in his eyes and his mind, and that's been pushed around the whole training ground. Again, we know the opportunity that we have. We know what's at stake. We know what's possible, and we've got an opportunity to make history as a club. And regardless of what people say outside, it's about us here and what we're doing. And we believe massively. We have so much confidence in what we're doing. So that's been the main message: just to focus on what we're doing, focus on this feeling that we have, and letting go of all the noise outside.
Just finally, you look very relaxed when you play from the outset. Is your mentality the same, and has that been tested at all in the last few weeks?
Tested? I wouldn't say tested. I feel like I've experienced football for long enough now to know how to carry myself, how to operate, and how to be the best version of myself on the pitch. And a lot of that is, being honest, not caring about what you guys talk about, and just doing what I do. I'm the professional, I'm the one that plays, and everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they know what's right and this and that. So for me, and as well as my teammates, I can see we've got the mentality now of just letting go and doing what we do best.
Thank you.
Hi, Eberechi. Last week, Mikel talked about how you wowed him in how you your response and reaction to your injury, and what you were like in your rehabilitation process. Could you just talk a little bit about how you experienced that process and what it was that you were determined to do while you couldn't get on the field, but what you could do off the field?
Yeah, I think being injured is never fun. It's never enjoyable, but it's a opportunity. I would say for me personally, I see it as a test for myself on what I'm willing to do to come back as fast as I can, as safely as I can, but also be in a better position when I come back, and that's always been my focus. It's always how I've approached a rehab process. So I think maybe it's that, maybe it's just the energy and the fearlessness I have when it comes to doing what it takes to be back. And I guess that stems mainly from my faith, my belief. I just trust that all will be well as long as I'm trying my best.
And just lastly for me, the leadership group at the club that's been established. When Arteta spoke about you, and I don't know if there was part of your place at Palace where maybe you were a leader in that group, is there any ambitions on your side of things to become part of a leadership group at Arsenal at all?
Ambition? No. I think this team is full of leaders, and whether you're in a leadership group or not, you're still able to have a voice to speak and to say what you think. And I think ultimately that's the most important thing, whether you're in a leadership group or not. Of course, it's good because they can help speak for the players in a different way, but yeah, I feel like as long as I'm being myself and speaking when I want to speak and operating as I feel comfortable, I'm at ease.
I was going to go to Harry. Yeah, he needs the microphone.
Hi, Eberechi. One of the questions that has been discussed is how you've grown in terms of your overall influence on the team since you first arrived at the club.
Sorry, say again?
One of the things that's been discussed is how your influence over the course of the season has grown on the team.
Okay.
Do you think it was underestimated how big a challenge it is to come into a new team and know when to drop deeper, when to go further forward? Is it about finding the balance in new surroundings, and do people overlook that, do you think?
Do people overlook it? I think you guys, obviously, it's your job. So you're going to judge people, you're going to talk about how they're settling in and maybe not fully appreciate what it takes to settle into a club. Some people settle quicker, some people it takes a bit longer. In a team like this where it's so detailed and there's so many things going on, for a player like me who has come from a completely different background, it was a bit difficult at times, but for me it's part of the journey, it's part of what it takes to become a better player. And yeah, something that I'm enjoying now, for sure.
What would you say was the biggest challenge in terms of the adaptation? Was it the tactical stuff? Was it the physical level? What would you say was the biggest challenge?
For me, it was the tactical stuff. I think being at Palace, it was very different. The style of play, the way we saw the game. And coming here, there's just a lot more things to consider, which is normal because we're playing so many more games. There's so many different ideas of how to work and operate and be successful. So that does naturally take time, but of course, for sure, buying into it 100% because you know what the results will be.
Charlie?
Hi. Obviously, Arsenal not won the title for 22 years and they've never won the Champions League. But it does seem that a lot of neutral fans don't want Arsenal to win. I mean, A, you must be aware of this, and B, does it puzzle you, and are you using this to fire you up?
No, I don't care. If I'm honest, I'm not too interested in what people think and how they feel about us winning. I just know that we've got a team that is more than capable and has proven that we're of the highest level. And when we do win, it'll be down to everyone else to deal with that, I guess.
John?
Hi. Can I just take you back to your injury and your recovery?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, that's an injury that could take longer. And you
Yeah.
clearly showed a great determination and willingness there to kind of get yourself back on the pitch. Is that just how much the end of the season means to you, your determination? I mean, maybe you've got experience because you've had such a serious Achilles injury in the past. You know what it takes to get yourself back on the pitch. But just how much did you push yourself? How much does this mean to you now?
I'll say less so about this particular time. I feel like it's just whenever I'm injured, my aim is to come back as quick as possible. And if that means working overtime and doing stuff that maybe isn't conventional, then I'm going to do it. But I believe that for sure that confidence does come from the Achilles injury, how I worked, how I operated there, and the faith that was instilled in me when it comes to injuries and letting go of fear of having another injury or whatever it is. Just a peace of mind of trusting that my God's with me and the work that I'm doing is going to leave me in good stead.
Can I just ask you what the Champions League means to you? Because You're clearly a very stylish, skillful player. You must have enjoyed watching it down the years. This is clearly what you've dreamed about. You were talking there about the opportunity ahead for the rest of the season. What does the next 2 months mean to you? What does the Champions League mean to you?
Yeah, no, for sure the Champions League is special. Growing up watching it on TV and dreaming to be playing in this competition, having it as a goal of mine from a young age. So it's a very special thing and something I don't take lightly. And to be in a position where we can win the competition and where we've got the actual opportunity, for me, that's the most special thing. And I'm grateful to God for it.
Hi, Barry. Around this time last year, before the FA Cup final, you mentioned kind of staying true to your style of play in a kind of football world that is changing. And I remember speaking to a few people who were actually with you in the Arsenal academy, and they said that was you even then. And throughout this season, we've seen glimpses of that. Just with all the, I guess, information that you've mentioned you've had to take on this year, how have you found kind of staying true to yourself this season?
I would say it's something that you have to be conscious of all the time, because you are, as I said, you're in an environment, you're in an industry that at times, if you're not careful, can pull you away from yourself. And I know that the reason why I'm here is because of the type of player I am. So staying true to that is key. It's everything, really. And as long as I stop doing that stuff, I'm no longer the player that I can be, or the player that was even brought to Arsenal. So for me, that's the focus. As long as I'm being myself, as long as I'm playing the game how I see the game to be played, as well as supplementing with the ideas and things that are going on here at the club, for me, that's the perfect combination.
And when you signed for Arsenal, a lot of Arsenal fans kind of found a lot of your old tweets. Nothing bad, but just stuff that really showed that you were an Arsenal fan growing up. And one that stuck out to me was you were retweeting like comps of Arsenal's like 2006 season. I was just wondering, from a stylistic perspective, what that kind of Arsenal team inspired within you and your kind of style, because it kind of seems like it shines through.
I think there was a certain level of confidence and not arrogance, but there was just a belief within that squad. And for me, that's what football's about, walking onto a pitch and believing that you're that guy and you're part of that team. For me, that's the mentality, and they had that. And it's something that we've got as well, which is special to be a part of, and for sure something that dreams are made of, I think.
Hi. Earlier in the season, you've had some big moments against Spurs, against Bayer Leverkusen. At times, especially when you're not there and maybe Martin Odegaard's not there, there's maybe that missing piece of magic, piece of spark in the middle. Why do you think that is? And do you think now, up until the end of the season, you could be that magic spark in the middle to provide the assists for the forward players?
Yeah, I think that's like any team. There's players who have specific roles within the team, and if those players aren't there, then they're missing that, whatever it is that player brings. So it's very normal that if players aren't there, then they lose something, and that's in any position. But for sure, the aim is to be fit, to play, and to be available to help the team as much as possible in my case, and Martin's exactly the same. But yeah, that's the focus.
I think in December there was a game against Villa where I think you were substituted at half-time, and then for a while afterwards we didn't really see you start much, especially in the league. What was the change then? Was some of that in relation to maybe tracking back or defensive aspect of the game?
I would say that's just part of the journey of playing for Arsenal. There's certain responsibilities that you have, and maybe if you're not doing it to the best of your ability, there's another player who's potentially going to do it better. So that's the level that we're playing at. That's the level of competition that's in the squad. So me not playing wasn't something I understood and I can understand because of the level of football that we're playing here. So again, part of the journey, part of what it takes to win. That's the type of team that you want to play for sure.
Last couple going into that.
Hi, Eze, Bárbara
Hello.
Simões Nunes, SIC Portugal. I'd like to ask you what it's like to work with Victor Gyökeres and if you have already learned something to him.
Yeah, he's a he's a good guy, man. He's a very good guy. He's a special character and a special player. He's someone that will give everything on the pitch, and you can see how willing he is to leave everything on the pitch. And for me, that's it's inspiring, and that's the type of people that you want to be around because it's infectious. When you see him working, it makes you want to work. And of course, he's a killer when it comes to finishing, so you know that if he has a chance, he's going to take it. So yeah, a massive help to the team. He's someone that is a leader, and yeah, we trust him massively.
We'll do the last question just there.
Hi, Carlos Albuquerque from RTP Portugal Television. I'd like to ask you what kind of Sporting do you expect tomorrow, and if Arsenal do you consider the big favourite to go to the semi-finals? Thank you.
Well, we've seen how they've played from the last game, but we don't know how they can come. They could completely change. It's hard to speculate on that, but the main focus is how we're going to play, how we're going to operate, and allowing that to be the main focus, because if that's the case, then we trust that we have enough to put in the best performance possible and to win the game. So that's our mentality, that's how we're focusing on the game and being very much centred on ourselves.
And favoritism?
Favourites? To go through? Well, we're winning 1-0, so I'm trusting that as long as we do what we can do and perform how we can, it's very possible.
Cool. We'll end it there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.